Let's try this. So, you know, I already tried recording this once before earlier today, but technical difficulties got in the way. So it's about let me see, it's 2:11 in the morning now. So excuse if I sound a little tired or out of it. I'm a little tired and out of it, But I just the reason I wanted to do this one before, this type of video before, was just because I just like to talk, you know? And this music already is getting me in my feels. I love Minecraft music. But life's, this music, life has been hard recently for me. Very hard. Okay, I gotta turn it down a little bit. Life's just been kind of hard for me recently, and I just feel like talking about it will help. So I broke up with my girlfriend of 2 months, my first real life girlfriend, so first girlfriend always makes it, extra hard to get over, but I broke up with her 2 weeks ago. Shit, 2 months ago. It was in November, something like that, November. Sorry, like I said, I'm tired. But I broke up with her, and it was hard. It wasn't easy. So what happened was, just for some context, I'm black, and my girlfriend was white. Just, in case that matters. I think it does, because it kind of explains, like my parents' kind of, I don't know, aversion to me being with her. I'm sure you know how that is. If you're an ethnic person, you know how it is in your parents and non-ethnic people in relationships, and my parents are already not, I didn't have the greatest track record with relationships before this. Of course, they were online, but it's I digress. It's not really important. So these relationships, my trust was already with my parents. My trust was already low, and when your trust is low, your parents don't trust you to do anything. So this relationship was a big, it was a big milestone for me, not only because it was my first relationship, where I could actually touch the girl and kiss her and all this stuff, but it was, I don't know, it was just different. And of course, with different stuff comes, these different challenges, and life finds a way to throw all this stuff at you. So I've been unpacking all this new information, one joke at a time, which, admittedly has not helped me very much, unfortunately, as much as I thought it would have. But, I guess I'll just start with the, story. So, me and my girlfriend, me as a person, I would say I'm not geared towards relationships, at least at this stage of my life. I'm young, I'm still a kid, so, I have a lot to learn about myself, and relationships just not the thing right now, right? So, this relationship, it just, I think from the start it wasn't gonna work out. And that's another thing. I have this really bad habit of assuming that a relationship is not gonna work out. Okay, this music's pissing me off, I'm not gonna lie. I had this really bad relationship, toxic, relationship of just being, and I don't want to say pessimistic. A lot of people call me pessimistic. Not a lot of people, but I'd like to say more realistic. Because like, come on, I'm a kid. I know this relationship, we're not gonna get married. It's not realistic. That's not what's gonna happen, and I know that from the start. I don't know. I'm not really dating to get married. I wasn't dating to marry this girl. I don't think. I was just dating her for, experience, just to say, I've had a girlfriend before. I've kissed a girl. I've been out with a girl before. I mean, look at me. I'm playing Minecraft at 2 o'clock in the morning. Like, that's not something that, guys like me could say. Like, I've kissed a girl before, so it was just one of those things. And I think going into that with that mindset definitely didn't help anything in the relationship. So, if there's one piece of advice I'd give, it's definitely, if you're going into a relationship, think about what you're going in it for. Like, think about the reason you're starting that relationship, and let your partner know. 100%. Communication is key. I say that all the time, ironically, even though not my strong suit, admittedly. As you'll probably come to figure out. But I tried. I did try. Leave it at that. But yeah, so we dated, got together. She was actually I had a crush on her for a while now. She goes to my school, so I really had a crush on her, and I wanted, back in the day, like, listen, I was scared, right? I never in my wildest dreams would I ever have thought that I would have ever, talked to a girl, ever asked a girl out, and none of this, ever, 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 ever. But so I had a crush on her, and I actually was talking to her before on Instagram, because one of my friends had told me that she called me cute in class. So of course, me being the sly, super nonchalant black 6'1" dreadhead I am, I was like, oh, let me follow her on Instagram literally the same day that she said that. So, that won't be obvious or anything. Of course she knew. Of course she knew. But of course I thought at the time I was being slick. And we talked for a little bit. And she was really, 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 really dry. Like, disgustingly so. And it was to the point where I was like, all right, I get it. I can take a hint. I know that she doesn't fuck with me. And one thing about myself, I'm extremely, extremely insecure about my looks. And so I was like, there's no way this girl, she's beautiful. There's no way this girl ever even look in my direction, right? So I figured her being shy was just her trying to bring me down nicely. And one of my friends who has a history with her, they don't like each other, but, he has a history with her. She told him to tell me to back off because she had a boyfriend, which was actually a lie. She did not have a boyfriend. She just didn't want to talk to me. Don't know why she decided to lie about that. She could have just said, I don't want to talk to you right now, but, to each their own. And so this was in June, right? So I got the hint, stopped talking to her. I was like, I'll just cut my losses because it was towards the end of the school year anyways. I'm like, I just took a leap of faith. I was like, I'll talk to this girl. I'll message her for the first time in my life. Never done anything like that before. And I'll see if it works out. And at first it didn't work out. And I was honestly fine with that. I was like, I'm going to get, I had a summer job lined up. I figured I'll just get this job and I'll just grind, right? I'll just grind this summer. Lo and behold, the first day of orientation for the job, guess who's there with me? Her. And it was really awkward. And I was texting my friends. I was like, oh my God, she's sitting right behind me, blah, blah, blah. What the hell am I going to do? I gotta end it. I gotta end it all, right? But the orientation for the job, it was like multiple different jobs in one, because I was old enough to work. I am old enough to work, but it was like this thing where they help teens find jobs, and they have like different work sites and stuff. So there's like 5 different work sites, and I figured, all right, there's no way, I'm gonna be put on the same work site as her. Next week comes, I look at my assignment for who I'm working with. Guess who my only coworker is? Her. I don't know what the chances of this will. I don't know what the chances of this were. I have no idea. God was just fucking with me. That's it. This is the nicest way I could put it. God was just fucking with me. He was like, huh, you thought this shit was sweet, huh? Nope. You're gonna work with her for 3 months, and you're gonna like it. Did I like it? We started dating, so I think the answer is pretty evident. In hindsight, did I like it? Yeah. It's a good experience. So, I get the job, and I'm tweaking out. I'm just the happiest I've ever been. I'm like, oh my God, this is my chance. I'm gonna not talk to her, right? Like, of course I'm not gonna fucking talk to her. I was like, you know what? uh, this is all just a big coincidence. I'm not gonna speak to her. Blah blah blah. So I didn't talk to her. The first day of the job, I don't think I said anything to her, but she actually messaged me that night because we were scheduled for the same shift for the first few, like the first week or two. We were scheduled for the same shift, so I was like, I'm not gonna talk to her. But she messages me and she asks me about something. And keep in mind, this is what, well, about, so this was June, so it was like a good month after she was being dry, and I took the hint. She messages me and just talking about something random at work. I don't know, just something just completely benign, asking about like something about time cards or something. And this was on Instagram where she, was being dry, and you know, so I was, I answered respectfully. I obviously didn't think anything was gonna come of it. I was just being nice because I'm not a mean person, and I can take being rejected. And so she messages me and she's asking me about this, something about this job, and I answer her. And then we start talking, blah blah blah, and she randomly mentioned something about going out for ice cream, and I'm like, oh shit, like it's actually happening. And she's talking about, oh, I might go out for ice cream after work tomorrow. Where did that mutton just go? Okay, well, that's cool. But she's like, oh, after work tomorrow, I'm gonna go out for ice cream, and I was like, oh, that's a great idea. I should do the same thing. Game of the century, right? Game of the century right here. And she's like, you should come with me. And I jump up, start screaming. I'm like, holy shit, I'm going on a first date in my life. Never been on a date before. It's the first time I'm ever going on a date, right? It's just greatest date for me. After the figuring out that she was my coworker, this is my greatest day ever, right? And so yeah. After work the next day, we went to Chipotle instead of getting ice cream for some reason. Um, and it was fun. We had a great conversation. It went well. There was no dead air, and of course, I was extremely nervous, but it went really well. And she was really cute, and I was like, damn, she's, you know, I really like her. Another thing too, she didn't overly dress up. I don't know, she told me after the fact that she didn't really know if it was a date. She figured I was still mad at her for her ghosting me and just being really dry, which I wasn't. I understand. And so she didn't really dress up. She just wore like a simple t-shirt and had her hair up in a bun, but that was the hottest shit ever to me. Like, I don't even know, she was really 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 cute, more so than I had seen before. And so, naturally, I fell in love, and the rest is history type shit. But no. So after the Chipotle date, we started talking more, got her number, blah blah blah. And yeah, so we were, just talking regularly at work, even though, I'm extremely shy. So she would come into work and I would literally hide and just act like I didn't see her come in because I didn't know how to initiate the conversation. I was too nervous, even though we literally gone on dates and all this stuff. And so, our relationship blossomed, and then we eventually started dating. Um, you know, and it was great. And then um, my parents met her for the first time, and that's kind of when everything started, because again, unfortunately, she's white and I'm not, so my parents were apprehensive, already. Just in this society, a lot of shit can happen to a black man, black boy, and so rightfully so, they were a little cautious. They're like, be careful, we don't really want you going out. And of course, already before this, my parents were already really, I can go out and stuff, but my parents were really really protective of me. And so her parents were not at all. Her parents were extremely hands off. Like, she literally could have flown across. Ooh, where did this village come from? That was not right there. I don't even know where I just was. I'm lost, but there's a village right there. So But yeah, her parents were really hands off. They were not uh, complete antithesis to my parents. You know, they just didn't care. And so my mom, of course, didn't like that. She didn't like the fact that her parents were, she wasn't as strict as my mom, especially, you know, for good reason. Her parents were not just not strict, they just at times seemed like they did not care about her well being. So I understand it completely. But, you know, as our relationship progressed, my girlfriend wanted to start doing more and more and, you know, relationship things, sexual stuff, and, you know, shit. I'm a boy. So I just went with it. I'm like, hey, I don't give a fuck. Yeah, I'll do whatever the fuck I want. But my parents started going through my messages because I would ask to go on dates with her. I'd ask to go out to, like, you know, our local center and whatever. And um, you know, I would start staying out late and just not being where I said I would be. And of course, that made them extremely suspicious. So they stopped letting me go out as much. And, you know, so um, when they went through my phone and found these messages of us talking about, you know, doing the deed, um, that just set them off more. And they lost a lot of trust in me, and we got into these, you know, we got into a few arguments about this relationship, and I just shouldn't be in it anymore. All right, let's not do that. And yeah, so that's basically how that was. They were like, you shouldn't really, you're young, you know, this stuff you shouldn't be worrying about it. You're too young for this. You have a whole life ahead of you. What if you have a kid? You're fucked. Like, you know. And it's like, okay, you know, I understand, but at the same time, I'm a teenage boy, right? I'm not listening to anything. I mean, I don't want to say I'm not listening because it really did affect me, right? Having my parents say all this stuff about me, about my girlfriend, it did affect me, and I did consider it a lot, actually, and that's why I never ended up doing anything with her, because I did consider it and I did listen to them. But just the whole, I don't know, just everything took a toll on me. And just this whole arguments constantly about this relationship and just my parents not trusting me, it was really a lot. And I don't want to say that's what led me to our relationship being a little rocky at times, because I don't think it is. That's the relationship problems were 100% on me. Like, well, I don't want to say 100% because, you know, it's a relationship. But I have certain issues when it comes to things that, you know, I don't know if I'll get into now, but I have certain issues when it comes to stuff like in relationships, just communication wise and being open. And like I said, relationships are just not really for me right now. But yeah, hold up, I'm actually stupid. What am I doing? Yeah, let me cook that mushroom, bro. Yo, okay. All right. But yeah, so, you know, there's just a lot of issues. I don't know. And I just I realized this, and I realized that it had to change because it was taking a toll on me. I would be depressed, and she would message me, and I would find myself not wanting to respond, and that would lead to her thinking that she was mad at me. And sometimes I was, of course, you know, that she wasn't perfect. I loved her, and I think I still do. But there would be times where I just wouldn't want to respond to her, and I think that damaged our relationship a lot because I just wasn't being open with how I was really feeling, and, you know, the things that I thought. And so, you know, of course, that leads to distance, and distance leads to issues, and issues leads to eventually me deciding that, you know, I gotta choose my family over her. So I realized that our relationship, it just couldn't work anymore with all this, you know, the way her family was compared to how my family was, and the rules. And, you know, I couldn't really spend time with her when she wanted to spend time with me, and she couldn't understand that because her family had always been hands off. And, you know, of course, no hate to her parents, her stepdad, dad, they didn't, I don't know, her family, I don't want to, they were weird. I'll just leave it at that. Like, realistically, there's no sugarcoating it. They were a strange family. Her dad was raise his stepdad, biological dad. I don't really know, right? But that's not my place, so I just kind of left that. I was like, yeah, they can like me, they cannot like me. I'm just gonna not deal with that, you know. But yeah, so I ended it, and the way I ended it was bad. It was bad. I did it over text, and I know, you know, you're probably cringing hearing that I ended in my 2 month relationship, my first 2 month relationship over text. Probably not. It's really not that serious to you. Um, but okay, all right, okay, hold up, because why is this version so fucking laggy, bro? First of all, why is he not blowing up? Where did my water go? Where'd my mutton go? Where'd that piece of iron go? Where's all my shit going, bro? I'm like, it's like hero in this bitch, bro. It's 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm too scared for this. I can't do this. I'm hearing stuff. But yeah, so I ended it over text. And the reason I did it over text was because my mom told me to. She was like, you know, you don't want to be gaslit, guilt tripped by her crying and all this stuff. And, you know, it made sense to me. I'm a very, I don't know, I'd say I'm pretty vulnerable. I feel like if I had seen her crying, I don't know if I would have been able to stop myself from. Funny story, I got back with one of my exes 4 times. While that was, you know, admittedly an online relationship, which hurts me to admit greatly, pains me greatly to admit that, you know, it's the truth, and it did happen, so there's no point in, I don't know, sugarcoating it. But yeah, so that did happen, unfortunately. It sucks that I can't go back in time and, you know, not do that. But hey, you know, something that people never really talk about. See, you know, make fun of e-dating all you want. But it actually did genuinely help me get a real girlfriend, because even though, you know, they're online women, they're still women, and it still taught me how to talk to women in certain ways, and, you know, how to, you know, spit a little game at the huzz, as the kids say nowadays. So it was helpful, and you know, I appreciate, you know, Discord for that. If there's one thing I appreciate Discord for, it's teaching me how to chat up the huzz, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, so we broke up. I've been getting on a crazy ass tangent. It's really late. I'm sorry. But we broke up over text, and it was hard for her, and I completely understand. And I shouldn't have done it over text, and it took me a while to realize that, like a good week. Because after we broke up, I heard that you know, like the day of, I heard that her friends were talking shit about me, and that hurt. Because I'm, you know, I'm a vulnerable teenager. I'm already insecure. So I took that out on her, and I kind of projected her friends, you know, talking shit about me onto her, and I was like, all right, I won't talk to her again, you know. I don't want to talk to her again. I want nothing to do with her. I was originally going to, you know, still talk to her. I gave her the option, you know, we can wait until, you know, you know, I can move out and my parents are more lenient with who I talk to. But she was not really a fan of that idea, so that didn't work. But I was, you know, I was like, you know, we can have this conversation in person, because I felt bad. She wanted to talk in person. She asked me the day we broke up. She's like, can we at least talk about this in person? So of course, you know, I said, yeah, because what do I look like, you know? And you know, I said yeah, and this was, you know, on a weekend, so school comes the next day, and we don't talk. Um, and as I was walking home, I saw her walking behind me, and, you know, we hadn't texted the whole day because we broke up, and I never texted her. I kind of figured, you know, we broke up, so I don't text you. Like I said, you know, I've never been in this kind of relationship, so I made a lot of faults, and hindsight, should have texted her, 100%. But I saw her walking behind me, and I thought she was just following me, and I figured, you know, if we're still gonna talk like you said we were, that she was gonna text me and be like, you know, let's talk sometime throughout the day. But she just followed me for a bit, and I just kind of looked at her as I was crossing the street, and, you know, I got kind of giddy. I was with my friends. I was like, oh shit, that's her, you know, are we gonna talk? But she kept walking, and we didn't talk that day. And one of my friends who ended up walking the same way as her told me a few days later that he found her on a park bench crying. And he asked her, this is the friend that doesn't really like her. Um, and he asked her if she, like what was wrong, because she was sobbing. And she told him, oh, he, being me, broke up with me over text, and I just can't believe you would do that, and all this stuff. And when he told me this was a few days after, for some reason. See, my friends have this weird habit of not telling me stuff until way after it happens. I learned a lot of stuff about her after the fact, like after we broke up. And I really wish they didn't hide that kind of stuff from me, because it would have been useful to know. I'll get into that later, but yeah. So he was like, "Oh, she's crying on the bench talking about you," and you know, and I was like, "Shit." Oh, I didn't expect us to talk that day. She was also like, "Oh, he ignored me. He saw me and he ignored me, and I thought we were gonna talk." I was like, "Well, I figured you would have texted me, but that's not an excuse. I still should have said something to her if I saw her behind me, because I know she doesn't live that way, so obviously she wanted to see me, but I don't know. That's when I made up my mind to not speak to her, so I just kind of brushed it away, but that really hurt her, and I wish I could have apologized for that. I never apologized for it. I did acknowledge it later on, but I never apologized for ignoring her. But yeah, so a few days, after he told me, it's like a good week, I decided that we should talk. And keep in mind, we did not speak a single word at all this whole time. So it was like a good week later. So we broke up on, let me see, we broke up on Saturday. We said we were going to talk on Monday, and Monday's when I ignored her. And then Thursdays when I texted her saying that we could talk the next day. And she had a job. She'd gotten a new job at this point. So she was like, I just said to her, I didn't know you wanted to talk to me on Monday. I figured you were doing something else. But that doesn't mean, just because I didn't say anything that day, doesn't mean we can't still talk. I still want to have this conversation in person. And I'm just saying one thing. When you stop talking to a person for a week, it feels weird talking to them again. It just felt really, really, really strange. Like I didn't know her, even though it'd only been a week. Zero contact. It was hard. Um, but yeah, it was like a spur of the moment thing. I just randomly texted her as I was walking up the stairs for no reason. I was like, I should probably tell her that we can still talk. So she was like, we can talk on Friday, but we have to be quick because I have work right after school. And again, hindsight is 2020. Should have waited. Should have waited until Saturday until we had actual time to have a deep conversation about this, because it did not end well for me or her. And we didn't talk. We still haven't talked since then. Since the last time we talked, kinda. So Friday comes. I'm nervous as fuck after school. And one thing she did actually, as I was waiting for her, and this is kind of irrelevant, but we hadn't talked. Of course, we're not dating anymore. We're not intimate. But as I'm waiting for her outside the school, she walks out. And, of course, I'm nervous. I'm a nervous teen, right? I just pretend like I don't see her and wait for her to walk up to me. Because what am I supposed to do? Look at her as she walks up to me? But as she walks up to me, she like kind of pushes my bag and just says, "Hey." And I don't know. I don't even know why I'm mentioning that. But it was really, I don't know. I don't want to say cute because we weren't together anymore. But it was. And I think that moment was like, shit. Like, it made me realize, damn, I'm gonna miss this. Like, even though it was so short, I still, had feelings for her, right? I'm not a psychopath. Come on. But yeah, that was just, I'm not important, but it just made me feel a certain type of way, and I realized what I was gonna miss. Yeah, I'm lucky just murdering these sheep. Jesus, there's like 50 billion animals out here. I'm just killing them all, bro. Damn. Where is this in 1.21? I'd be starving, man. But yeah. So The Friday comes after school. She pushes me, and then we go and talk. And I just stand there for a bit before we start talking. And I just look at her because I don't even know what to say to her at this point. I've gone through 5 different phases of, wanting to talk to her and not talking to her, and I just don't even know what to do. And it's hard, you know. And we only have such a limited amount of time. She has to go and go to work, so I don't get to say all the stuff I want to say. But she's like, I love you, but I hate you at the same time. And what you did to me, it hurt, which I acknowledge. And you know, and I'll admit, I wasn't the best boyfriend. And unfortunately, she couldn't see that because her last relationship, couldn't even really call it a relationship. She didn't like the guy, and I still to this day don't know why she dated him. But that was her first real relationship, and I bought her a lot of expensive stuff, and so that kind of made her, a little biased towards me. So I don't think she realized that a lot of the stuff I did just wasn't boyfriend material, and to be expected, my first relationship, but it just wasn't good. And I don't think she realized that in the amount of affection she had for me after, only 2 months of dating, I just want to say was uh, a result of, both of us being inexperienced in relationships. So, you know, she was like, I really loved you, and you broke my heart breaking with me over text. And I was like, I know, that's why I'm here talking to you now. And excuse me if my memory is a little flawed. This was literally in November. It's almost Christmas now, so I don't think about this day very often, as you could probably guess why. But yeah. So we talk for a little bit, and I don't know. It doesn't really feel like we broke up. I mean, of course it's awkward, but it's still her, right? Nothing changed that much in a week. So she turns around and tells me that she has to go to work, and I didn't know what to say. So I was like, I just had this dumb smile on my face because I was looking. She's still beautiful, right? Like, I still love her. She's still really attractive. Okay, listen. When I say love, I mean I appreciate her, and I have a feeling of appreciation for her in my chest. If is it love? No, it's not. And I don't think it was love ever. I think it was infatuation and just having a relationship for the first time. And you know, I'm not really that in touch with my feelings as a man, so it's just um you know what I mean? It wasn't love. It was, what do they call it? Limerence. I don't know exactly what that means, but I'm just assuming based on the context that that's what that is. But I was just infatuated. She's beautiful. She's pretty. She's funny. She's has my kind of humor sometimes. And it just, I don't know. And it was hard hearing her say all that stuff about how much she loved me and what I did, how what I did hurt her, and I felt terrible. But as she turned around to leave to go to work, I was like, well, shit. I was just like, I don't know. I said to her with the stupid smile on my face because, I'm still admiring her. I'm like, good luck at work. And I genuinely think to this day that comment single-handedly fucked me over. Because she turns around and it gets us into this whole thing. She's like, no, you don't get to say that. She's not mad. She just has a smile on her face. She's like, you don't get to say that. You hurt me and you're not supposed to be nice, blah, blah, blah. And she's smiling, and I'm like, what do you mean? I'm still gonna, support you, whatever. And then guess what? I bet you can't even guess what the fuck happens next. So where we are is like this church behind my house. And we used to go there a lot because my parents are really strict. They didn't let me hang out at our house after school, so we'd have to hang out at the church parking lot. Neither of us can drive, so we didn't have a car or anything. So we hang out at the church, and the owner is a fucking bitch. I'm gonna just put it away. The owner's a bitch ass I'm sure you can fill in the rest. And he came around like once, twice, would tell us to leave, but we would go there like almost, not gonna say every day, because my mom really didn't like it. It was like every other day, and we'd stay for like a few hours. But the owner told us to leave, and we hadn't gone there in a bit because we broke up. So this was the first time in a few weeks. No, I'd say like 2 weeks that we had been there at this church. And as she's turning to leave, I see a cop car pull in. And listen, I'm black, right? I'm scared of cops. I'll just put it that way. I get really nervous around cops, and I was scared. And he came, and he was like, "You guys, the owner told me that he wants you guys trespass from here." And I'm like, "What the fuck? This church is right behind my house. I go here literally every day. It's literally my backyard. I come here every day to walk home from school." And he's like, "Oh well, you guys, your trespass owner is asking you guys to leave, so you can't come back." And keep in mind, right after we broke up, like, just timing literally couldn't be any worse. But he asked for our names or whatever, and look, Jesus fucking Christ, yeah, I wish I had known this before, that you don't have to give your officers your name if you're being trespassed. I literally gave him all my information because I didn't know this, but I didn't commit a crime, so I didn't have to give that. I didn't have to give that pig anything. But yeah, so whatever. That's just a little something that stuck with me, realizing after the fact that I didn't have to give him any information because there's no crime committed. But yeah, so gave him information, and we were basically forced to part ways at that point. So me and her, we leave, and that's it. And I texted her after because I was nervous, right? I didn't expect that, and I texted her, and I, just asked her. I was like, "Are you okay?" And it's the first time we texted since I asked if she wanted to, still talk. I was like, "Are you okay? Did that scare you? Blah blah blah." And she was like, "No, I'm fine." And we started a conversation, which, in hindsight, was bad. We should have been no contact right after this, right? To give us time to heal and whatever. But we started a conversation, and we talked for a few days, and it was hard because we broken up, but we just had this conversation, and it's like our old selves again, and we didn't know what to do because we already talked about getting, waiting, and she didn't want to wait for this relationship, all the power to her, whatever. But it was hard, and I was like, what do we do? Like, I want to still talk to you. I still have feelings for you. I don't want you out of my life, but it's over, you know? And so for the next couple of days, we talked, and eventually it just didn't work out. So my last message to her, the last thing I ever said to her, was a paragraph talking about how I wished her luck, and you know, in her future relationships and whatnot. And she said the same, and that was it. And we never spoke again. And to this day, we still haven't spoken. But if that was all, I probably wouldn't be making this video right now. After the breakup, I think I coped with it fast. I just kind of acted like it didn't affect me, and it was hard. Well, it wasn't hard, right? That's the thing. At the start, it wasn't hard. It was easy, suspiciously so. And I was kind of over it. Of course, I would think about her literally every day, but it wasn't bad. I wasn't depressed. I wasn't sad. I was, I was over it. And, a few hiccups happened here and there with her, with me and her, like her friends saying stuff, and me figuring out that she was saying stuff. And one of the things was, one of my friends was around her, the same one who, didn't like her. They have a mutual friend, so they were around each other, and she knows that me and him are friends. And so, apparently, she saw him walk up to her, and she purposely changed the subject to be talking about this one guy who had walked her to class. And she was talking about how, how hot she was, or how hot he was, and how attractive he was. And my friend was like, she did that just that because she knew I would tell you, and she just wanted to, stir stuff up. And I think this was a little bit after we broke up, and I don't know the time frame on this. I'm pretty sure it was after we had that conversation. at the church, and that's why it really stuck with me. Cause I'm like, we had this conversation. I thought it was over, but you're still out here doing petty stuff. So, like an idiot, after I learned this, I made the rash decision to get back at her by posting a girl on my Instagram like 2 weeks after we broke up. Extremely, like, please listen, beat me up in the comments all you want. I know it was stupid, right? Like look at me. I know it was stupid, man. You know. But I posted a girl, some random girl that um, it was just some random girl. We weren't even that close. I just posted her. Didn't say anything. Just posted a picture of her with like heart eyes emoji. And she saw the post, and when I saw that she saw the posts, I realized that I fucked up because now there's really no chance of us being back together. Like, this petty back and forth just completely ruined everything, right? And of course, cutting that tie permanently was good because we don't need to get back together and we need to move on. We need to find new people. But the feeling of her, hold on, let me turn this music up. It's okay good for what I'm about to say. The, the knowledge that she was talking to other guys and she was thinking about other guys was hard. Really, really, really hard. And it made me sad. It made me really sad. It hurt. Even though we weren't together, even now, thinking about her dating other guys, it's just, I don't even know. It just hurts. It hurts bad. And so hearing that and then doing what I did, posting this other girl, which makes me a hypocrite. I know, I'm sure she feels the same way about me talking to other girls, but I don't know. Well, music's over, so yeah. So I posted that girl, and then I blocked her on everything because I realized that we don't need to talk, right? Like, why do I have you unblocked, right? I don't want to see, you posting other guys. I don't want to see you. I don't want to see your stories. She didn't post like that. She only had one Instagram post, right? So I didn't have to worry about that. But I just didn't want to see her, as little as I could. I don't want to hear about her. I figured just removing her from my life would be the best course of action. So blocked her on everything. Blocked her on messages. Blocked her on Instagram, Snapchat, all this. She would still send me streaks. Like, bro, we're broken up. What are you sending me streaks for? Come on. I'm not going to respond to your streaks. Please get me out of this fucking mass snap. I'm not responding. And my friends did the same, which is, one thing that I actually appreciate them for is, they blocked her, which I appreciate. But after I posted the girl, I found out that she had said that she was going to try and go after one of my friends to get back at me and make me feel jealous, which is questionable. Extremely, extremely questionable. And it was one of my friends who she swore up and down that she didn't like. They had this past years ago where she swears to me that she didn't like him, but he swears to me that she did. And it was, I don't want to say it was, all right, bro, this fucking boat. I don't want to say it was this whole thing because it wasn't that important. Like, I don't care who you liked. But, I don't know. One of these things is I just don't like being lied to. I don't like being lied to. And it's ironic because you ask anyone out there, a lot of the people who know me, I'm a very big liar. When I was a kid, it was bad. I would lie about a lot of stuff, and I still kind of have those tendencies, which is another thing I'm working on. To just lie about dumb shit. Just lie about stupid shit, and it's hard. I don't know why. I don't know where it came from. The way I think about it is like the only times I would lie about stuff is to get out of situations. That's not like how I'd rationalize it in my head. It's like I'm not lying a lot of the time for no reason. Like, of course, I exaggerate the occasional story and make it seem worse than it is, but I wouldn't lie about, I wouldn't lie about things. I would lie about situations to get me out of trouble. Like, no, I didn't take the last Pop-Tart, blah, blah, blah. Stuff like that. Don't know where I was going with this. I just wanted to get that off my chest, Oh, yeah, wait, no. Yeah, so, what time is it? It's almost 3 a.m. Fuck. So, yeah, it was hypocritical of me to not like liars, but I don't know. it is what it is. It's just the fact that I don't like when people lie to me. You know, hypocritical, say whatever you want. It is, right? But it's a fact that I don't like when people lie to me. So a lot of the stuff that I uncovered after we broke up was like, damn, she just why would she lie about that to me? Like, why would she tell me that she didn't have a crush on my best friend when he's over here telling me that he literally has a video where she said that she loves him? I don't understand why you would lie about that, but okay. They had a very complicated past, and I won't get into today, but it was bad. Um, and you know, she has her fair share of trauma. She's been through a lot, and that when she told me that day, all the stuff that she's been through, it didn't make me judge her any differently. You know, of course, it made me sympathetic. I felt bad for her. You know, I still loved her. She's my girlfriend, right? Um, but yeah, so she was talking about going after one of my friends, and I was like, wow. You know, it didn't make you feel bad because it was like, I mean, you go after my friend. At least I'll know everything that's going on if they decide to get together. Then again, would I be friends with someone who gets with my ex? Probably not. So, you know, of course, you know, I would. I don't have the self-respect. I can acknowledge that. I don't have the self-respect to cut someone off like that. I wouldn't cut my friend off if he starts talking to my ex. And that's sad to think about, but I just wouldn't, realistically. I don't think I would have cut him off if that did happen. Thankfully, he didn't. But one thing that stuck with me throughout this whole situation is that my friends, I don't want to say quote unquote friends, but my friends, they didn't tell me stuff. A lot of the stuff. Like when we first started talking and she was being dry, what she said to me was that, oh, you know, I actually liked you too. There was this one time we had talked prior in class. We talked like one time in class, and she thought that I was really, really funny and entertaining, and she wished that I would, you know, come and talk to her more. But, you know, of course I was a bitch, so I never did. Right. I just never did. But she was like, oh, you know, I would come to class early because I used to notice that you were always the first one there, so I would come to class early hoping that you would talk to me, right? So of course I was like, oh wow, that's so cute. You know, we both liked each other. We were just too scared to say stuff. And then I found out after we broke up from my friends that she was talking shit about me behind my back and just, you know, making fun of me at her lunch table. And this was in June, back when we were first talking, right? So I'm like, well, shit. So was she lying this whole time? Like she was making fun of me, calling me ugly, whatever. I don't know exactly what she was saying. My friends just said that she was quote unquote flaming me, whatever that means. You know, I'm sure you can guess. I'm sure I can guess, but yeah. So I was like, so you tell me this after we break up. I feel like you should have told me that before. And my friends, quote unquote friends, excuse was that you were head over heels for her, so we didn't want to break your heart. Stupidest fucking excuse ever. First of all, this was back in June when we barely were even talking. I was not head over heels for her. Okay, I'm not some anti-parasocial freak, right, bro? Like, I don't talk to women like that, but I'm not fucking insane. I'm not like the fucking 4chan user, bro. Like, come on. I was grounded. I was fine when she didn't want to talk to me anymore. It was perfectly fine. But they were like, oh, we did you a favor, you know, it worked out for you. This is a good life experience. And I'm like, no, you should have told me at the time that she was talking shit about me, right? But whatever. So I let that slide. And then I find out from one of my other friends, not the one who she originally was gonna try and get with, that she had said that about getting with him. He never told me. The one that she said that about, he never told me. It was one of my other friends who told me to swear never to say it to anyone else, which I did. Sorry, man, but I did eventually mention it to my friend. I was like, yeah. So remember when we had this conversation 5 different fucking times about you telling me shit, and you said you would. Yeah. So why didn't you tell me about that? But you know, said the same thing. Oh, it was for the better. Or oh, I just didn't think I needed to tell you. I'm like, okay, whatever. I'm not gonna die on this hill. Just say whatever you want. I'm not dying on this hill, right? But yeah. So there was that, and after that, we didn't talk. Well, you know, of course we didn't talk before that, but that was really like the end of um, I want to say, intertwinement in each other's lives. Like nothing else has come up after that. Almost 2 months later, and it's really started to hit me. It took me an hour to get to this point in the video to explain why I'm talking about this shit now, but um, it's really starting to hit me now. And I've just been, I don't know if it's seasonal depression, winter. I've just been constantly depressed for just forever now. I'd say since 2020. Okay. Well, uh, it is exactly 3 o'clock in the morning, so that would explain whoever the fuck that was. That's really cool. See, this is why I don't play Minecraft, because it's 3 o'clock in the morning. Why the fuck is shit like that happening? Come on, bro. Please. I'm scared. I just want to talk about my girlfriend. Please. Hero Brian, don't rate me. I genuinely don't know what the fuck that was. That scared the shit out of me. I can't lie to you. Um, but yeah. So it's just really started to hit me recently. I can't stop thinking about her. And it was fine for the first few weeks, month after we broke up. It wasn't as bad. But I feel like it hit me finally that, like, we're done. That we broke up and that I'll probably never speak to her again. And I still, to this day, will look at my phone praying that I'll see a message from her asking to talk to me. And I'm sure there'll be people in the comments be like, bro, just talk to her. You just want to talk to her. 2 months is probably enough time. But I can't. I just can't. Just ego, whatever. I cannot speak to her. I can't be the one to bring it up. I broke up with her. I ended it. So I need to stick with that. I need to live the fact that I was the one who ended it, and how I did it, and how she feels about me, and all the stuff that happened after it. I can't message her again. So if that's the reason we never speak again, if there's a chance that we could have talked, if I was the one who, brought our conversation back up, I'm fine with that, because I can't talk to her again. But it's just really been starting to hit me, and I just miss her, and I keep checking my phone, and it's just been getting bad, and I feel like talking about it. This has been, nice actually. It's been helpful to talk about it, and I'm also hoping that the words are not slurred, because I tried recording this earlier. It was like way earlier in the morning. It was like 4 p.m. and it was, I was awake. I was fine and dandy. Didn't have to lower my voice, and I still sounded slurred and depressed. So I really hope I don't sound like that here, because I low-key just started hitting, like, I just hit the record button without testing my voice out or anything. I got Minecraft running, and I just started talking, so apologies if I am mumbling and you can't understand me. I really hope that's not the case, because it's been an hour. I'm not re-recording this shit. Like, this video is going up as is. I don't care. But yeah. So, first video is an hour long. That's cool and all. I'm not done. I'm just saying. Hour long video. It's pretty cool. I'm gonna fall out. Yeah. Okay. But yeah. So it's just been hitting, and I've just been getting more and more depressed, and I just think about this relationship, and I start to think, I'm like, oh, I miss her, and I wish I could, talk to her again. I wish I could wake up in her bed tonight and hug her, and, and just be like, can we just forget that this ever happened and just get back together? But that's not fair to her, and that's not fair to me. So, yeah, I just have to get over it. But when I think about her getting with other guys, it's like, fuck. I just want to kill myself. I was saying to my friend the other day, selfishly, albeit, I was like, if I had 3 wishes from a genie, my first wish would be that she is alone forever and she never finds another boyfriend. Now, listen, I know it's fucked up, but come on, bro. I don't know. I guess it's jealousy issues, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And I'll work on that too, man. God, fuck, bro. I just got a lot of shit to work on, huh? just nothing go well for me. But yeah, it was one of them. The second one was that I just wished, you know, that we could have worked out. That's all I wanted. I wish that I wish that she was my soulmate. I wish that we were meant for each other. I wish that, fate ordained that we got married. Just what I genuinely wish, because I want someone like that, you know. And I wish it was her, because that would have been a great story. Oh, we met in high school, and she was talking shit about me behind my back, and you know all this shit. But whatever, didn't work out. But I wish it did, and I wish that we would get married and have kids. And my opinion on love and relationships and finding your special person, that'll probably be a different video. I have like 2 video ideas that I could talk about, um, that I've just been thinking about, because and if you made it this far, which I don't think anybody will. This is my first video. I don't think this is gonna go anywhere. This is just me talking. But um, you know, I've always wanted to have this kind of content. And at first, I was gonna do gaming content and then edit my way up there. But I started thinking, this is really what I want to do, right? Like, I don't want to be gaming is fun and all that, but I think I just like talking and being myself more, and having no cuts and no edits and that kind of stuff is I think I'm gonna do it. And okay, listen, realistically, honestly, one of my biggest fears recently that's come up recently is being famous and having a following, because first of all, I do have another YouTube channel, right? I have another channel, and it's not popular by any means, right? But it's like, the reason I made another channel for this is because I just don't want people on that other channel who know me in real life to see this video, and somehow this gets back to her, and this is like a vulnerable channel, right? I'd like it to be anonymous and not relate back to my real life in any way, but I also am scared of controversy. I was thinking about it, and I was like, I couldn't handle, like, I've done a lot of fucked up shit on the internet, I've done a lot of shit. I'm young, but I've done a lot of shit on the internet, and I would, I just, scared of controversy, right? What am I gonna do? Lie my way out of it? Well, not lie, but I'd be like, oh, I was just a kid, I've matured, blah blah blah. But shit, it was like a year ago, man. I've done shit. Of course, I regret it now, but it happened, and there's no escaping that. So that's honestly my biggest fear is, people bring up my past and being like, you did this, you said this to this person, you did that to this person, and it's like years ago, right? But they don't care. Cancel culture doesn't give a fuck when it was. If it happened, it happened. 10, 12, 13, no matter how old you were, that shit will catch up to you, bro. And I realized that connecting this, well, my other channel with my real life, it's kind of easy if you know where to look. It's like, oh shit, I don't want it to get back to my parents. So anyways, I made a new channel and figured I'll just upload here, and this will just be where I just upload, right? It won't be anything special. It'll just be me talking about life. And maybe some people will find that interesting. Maybe some people will want to listen to me talk about life. And yeah, who knows? But yeah, so I don't really know what else to say about it. I kind of my intention for talking about this originally, like what this video was going to be about, was just going to be me talking about like how the depression and me missing her flared up. But I got winded up in the whole backstory of it, that it's like, well, shit, it's an hour long, I don't want to, I don't, first of all, I don't even know how long I can upload videos for on a new channel. I don't actually remember, so I don't even know if I can upload this. But yeah, I was just gonna talk about, how much I was hurting just recently out of the blue, and how much I missed her. But I can't go back. unfortunately, no matter how much and even now talking about this, I find a big part of myself wishing, hoping that tomorrow when I wake up, some God will answer my pleas in this video, and I'll find a message from her unsaved number on my phone. And a part of me still does hope for that, right? I still want to have a connection with her. At the same time, I realize that I can't. I just can't. That's the easiest way to put it. It can't happen. But I don't know. Life's hard. It's a lot, and it's a lot to think about. It's a lot to deal with, especially at my age. And going through a lot, hormones and puberty and girls and guys and friends and relationships, friendships, all this stuff. It's a lot. And excuse the silence. It's 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm not really supposed to be up right now, but a few footsteps never hurt nobody, unless it's a break-in and I'm being robbed right now and I just don't realize it. But yeah. So I don't know. We can't really get back together realistically. That wouldn't work with my parents. My parents have already assumed that I'm over it and that I understand that I can't get back with her, and it wouldn't work out. We wouldn't be able to hang out. My parents would be way more uptight, on guard after the first. It just wouldn't work. Her friends don't like me, blah blah blah, And so as much as I would love it to work out, it hurts me to think about the truth that it can't happen, and it probably won't. And that's something that I've been thinking about for, maybe that's why it's been hitting so hard recently, because it's finally settling in that we can't get back together. And the longer we go without talking, the bigger, the chance that we're never going to speak again. And that hurts, even though I was the one who broke up with her. Not because I didn't love her, right? It's just, I just can't. I don't know. But yeah, that'll probably be it for this video. I feel like I talked about what I want to talk about, and it's getting later and later, and I have nothing to do tomorrow. I'm on winter break, but I can't even upload this video tonight. I have to verify my channel. I can only upload 15-minute videos, so you'll probably see this tomorrow, and whenever I can get my phone to connect my phone number to this account, which I don't want to do because I really don't want this to have any link to anything to do with my real life, but unfortunately that's probably gonna happen. So if anybody has any tips on how to make sure that this doesn't show up on my fucking friends recommended like TikTok does for some reason, I made a TikTok channel showing some of my edits for games I play, and tell me why it shows up on other people's recommended that follow me in real life on my real life account. The 2 accounts are not connected, man. Like, come on. I specifically turned off sync contacts. Like, you had one fucking job, right? But whatever. I digress. That's not important. If she finds this video, so be it. I everything I said here, truthful, and of course a part of me wants her to find this video, right? Because it'll be like, oh my god, he still cares about me, blah blah blah. I need to get a grip. I need to get a fucking grip. Man, it sucks. But yeah, so I will upload this whenever I get a chance. Most likely not tonight, unless the stuff I'm seeing about the verified channel only being upload 15-minute videos is false, in which case I will be uploading this now. But if not, I will not be. Let me get a nice little thumbnail here. And this, do I really want to be holding pork chops? Probably not. What's the screenshot button? Okay, it's that button. Alright, cool. There we go. Nice little screenshot. But yeah, so I hope if you watch this far that you have a great rest of your day, great rest of your night, whenever you're watching this. And I don't know, maybe I'll end these videos off with some kind of life lesson or tip from a YN like me, you know, as the kids say. I think in my limited years of existence on this earth, which, okay, I get that I say that a lot, right? I've called myself a kid probably 20 times in this video. Um, you know, I don't want that to be a reason you take this any less seriously, right? I'm sure adults have said the same exact thing as me, but, you know, take it with a grain of salt, obviously. I haven't been around for a long time to know this kind of stuff, but can I wrap this shit up, please? For the love of God, wrap it up, man. One mantra or piece of advice, and something that I would say for anyone watching this, adult, kid, whoever. I think that realizing your problems is, and you know, this is obviously, I think a lot of people know this, but realizing your problems is only the first step, right? Because you can realize your problems, right? Yeah, you've noticed me acknowledge a lot of problems that I have in this video. Acknowledge it, right? Like, I can acknowledge it, but are you really acknowledging it, or are you just saying it to make yourself feel that, you know, that you've acknowledged that issue? And I feel that a lot, right? Like, I say a lot of stuff in this video, like, oh, I realize that this is a problem, blah blah blah, I'll work on that. But do I genuinely realize, like, in my heart, that that's an issue that I need to work on? You know, do you genuinely realize that it's a problem that you need to work on? Or are you just saying that just to say it? Are you saying it to fool yourself into believing that you're working on yourself and that everything's getting better? And I don't even know the answer to that yet. I don't know. I don't know if I'm working on this stuff. I haven't seen a quantifiable difference in myself from, you know, that started with me acknowledging a problem, right? I don't know if there's ever been a conscious choice that I've made to fix something that I fixed. Well, you know, that's not true, actually. I'd say I used to lie a lot more, you know, and I've gotten a lot better at that. I'm a lot more truthful now, and I used to be really impulsive too, so of course that comes with the lying, or the other way around. The lying comes with being extremely impulsive, but I've gotten better with that, you know, and I think I acknowledge that, and I don't know if I necessarily worked towards it or I grew out of it, but I acknowledged it, and the change happened, so, you know. So I would just say, you know, not to make you question yourself or anything, but the next time you realize that you have an issue, I would say just acknowledge that you have it and really think about it. Really think about what the issue is and what it could have stemmed from, what could have happened in the past that caused that issue. And I feel like that's the first step towards fixing the issue, is realizing where it came from and what part of you it's in and a part of and ingrained in. And yeah, so I'm just yapping, but I'm gonna end this video and I'm gonna go and you know, edit it. So I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.